Hey everybody, Regina Floyd coming to you from fabulous Las Vegas. I sure apologize for the delay, some technical difficulties as we figure out this system that we're doing the webinar on. Last week, turned out I had not integrated it with my Google Hangout, so it wasn't working. Just want to say good morning. Again, I apologize for the slight delay here. I can see that Dan is working on joining us, so he'll be with us shortly. Basically, what I want to do is every Saturday, Dan and I get together, and or I should say the last couple Saturdays, and we've been talking about some marketing strategies and just sharing some different ways that people can market online. And I did a survey of my list and came to find out that people are wanting to know, about 85% of my list is wanting to know how to just get started online. That was one of the questions they had. So we decided today to talk about that, to just address it, to just talk about how a person might get started online and just share some real basic fundamental information. Nothing earth-shattering here, but Dan and I obviously have both experienced getting started online. And we're going to share that with you and try to make it as quick as possible, not take too much of your time. Hopefully get this done in 45 minutes. Now that we've started a little bit late, we'll be done by the top of the hour. So Dan, are you okay there? You want to introduce yourself real quick, and then I'll get rolling on this as fast as possible.
Yeah, I think I'm back. So and I hear you and everything. Can you hear me?
Yes, you sound good.
Okay. So once again, Sissik here. Yes, we do persevere. That's part of the home business mantra: perseverance and getting through. So, and we're back. So go ahead and go on with what you were going to continue with, Regina, and I'm here.
Okay, what I'm going to do, Dan, is I've got a PowerPoint that I did, just real basic and generic, and then what I'll do is I'll just jump in and ask for some feedback on your end in case you got some things to add on these different points. So what I'm going to do, guys, is just share with you just some basics on like what to do if you're looking for something to do to work a business online. Obviously, we would love for you to get started with us, but if, you know, for some reason you don't want to, we can at least share with you some fundamental things to check out when you're doing that. And I got to make sure that I have my. Don't you just love this?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want that to. Oh, I do want my PowerPoint. That's not the PowerPoint I want. Okay. Well, anyway, let me start there and see if I can get it to. There we go. Are you seeing this okay, Dan? There we go. Are you seeing this okay? Dan? I guess it's just me, guys. I apologize. I didn't know we dropped off. So let me get back to my PowerPoint, and I'm just going to start it, and hopefully you guys are going to see it. So what I want to do is like I said, I surveyed, and this made me think of the Family Feud survey says, and I surveyed and found that people wanted to know how to get started online. And so I wanted to share that information with you. Real quick, I'll give you a little bit of background on me, and then hopefully Dan pops back in. He's able to give you a little bit about him. I am a retired police sergeant from Las Vegas, Nevada here. I retired in 2008 when I basically walked away from my job to care for my family. My mother, that you can see down here on the right, had gotten sick that year in 2008. About January, February, she had a heart attack. It was mild at the time, but she did have a heart attack, and that really just kind of scared me because I had lost my father a few years back and was not willing to lose my mother without having some time with her. And so I retired. I had 20 years on. You can see this top picture on the left here, on my left, is my last New Year's Eve with my squad. We were out on the Strip. Every year we had to work the Las Vegas Strip. And that was me with my squad and our lieutenant.
Regina.
Yeah.
Which one? Because I just see where it says laser target customers on Facebook.
Oh no. Okay. Hang on. That's not. All right. That's not the one I want. Hang on. Are you seeing this one now?
I see you.
Oh, let me go back to. Hang on. Let me go back. There we go. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
I was hoping that I noticed you had disappeared, and I was hoping you were coming back because I couldn't see it at the same time.
Yeah, no, I see it. I see it now.
Okay, how's that? Are you able to see it now?
Yep.
Okay. Well, hopefully, guys, you were catching up with what I was saying. So basically, I was talking about my squad and having decided to walk away from my career, which was a tough choice. But I made a decision to walk away and take care of my mother and to take care of my young daughter. In this picture that I'm hoping you see now, is was about 10 years old. No, actually, yeah, well, she was almost 11. That was last December. So basically, I decided to walk away and put my family first. And it was a difficult decision because financially, it made no sense. I was building a business at the time online, but I was just getting started, and it was something different. Had not really been making the income I wanted to make that would totally replace my six-figure income, but made that decision to walk away anyway, and I did it. So when I got started, I started just kind of looking around for something that would let me come home and something that had an income that would I could replace a six-figure income. Initially, when I got started, I was working a job, so it really wasn't critical I replaced my income. But in the beginning, I just wanted something I could do while I worked around my job, and something that would eventually create enough residual income for me that it replaced what I was making. And even if I was just making what I was getting a paycheck for, I could be good and make that transition. So I started kind of looking around, and ultimately, the business I'm in now, I came across because I got an email from a business partner that I had, a mentor that I had been working in a prior business with. Ironically, when I walked away from my job, that's the business I was in. Although I wasn't making money in it, I was actively working to build it. And years later, he sent out an email, and because of my past experience with him, I joined right away. And I resonated with everything that the business offered. And for me, that was a way to be at home with my family, work a business, not have to be, in hotel meetings or traveling all over. I didn't want to be on the phone all day. And there was a lot of attractive features, which we'll get into here in a minute, about why I got started. So now what I want to do is let Dan just share a little bit about his background. What I did, Dan, is I pulled a couple pictures off of Facebook of just some of the things that you're into. And what I really noticed about you was that you really are about service, you're really about volunteering, and really about community. And if you want to just share a little bit about your background, feel free.
Well, yes. As I've said before, Regina and I know each other from one. We actually went to the same high school together. She graduated, I think, a couple years after I did. She keeps yelling at me, "Don't say her age or anything," so I won't. I'll be nice. Um, but in that, we became friends through um, um, actually, of all things, at that time, singles outreach that um, I was involved with at that time my girlfriend with at that time. And through that, and Regina and I became friends throughout that, and remain friends since then. But so I'm a usher at my church. I'm very active. I help in our Operation Hope, which is feeding the homeless and stuff. So, and I've looked before that at like network marketing, direct sales marketing and stuff as a way to get me out of that day-to-day grind of going to a job. I knew that the one thing that I keep going back to is I didn't want to kill myself having to work. And that's how I felt at times was I'm going to work day in and day out, 8 hours in, 8 hours. I'm going and trading my time, and I have to work my life out around my work schedule, and I can't just go and do what I want to do. And I wanted more of that freedom. So back in the middle 90s, I started and I got involved with, Amway, and I've done some other things too, about 5 other companies. No real success there. And then Regina somehow told me about this, and it was at a real low point in my life. I was going through some financial struggles with my house because of car expenses, major expenses. I spent over $5,000 on my car back in '09 and into '10, and then I got let go of my job. I got involuntarily terminated, so it was not my choice. It was more their choice, but I didn't get laid off. But I still was able to get unemployment, so I was living on that, working and doing taxes part time for a major tax preparation company, which I loved doing that, and I've been doing that for about 6 or 7 years at that point. but I still just wanted to break free. And Regina told me about it, and I was kind of scared at first because I didn't jump in right when she jumped in. And you joined in what November, October, November of 2011, right?
Actually, December.
Okay, I got involved in March, but it still took me a couple months to really get going, um, and getting into some of why I did it was because I was coming to the end of my unemployment stuff and knowing it was going to run out, and I really wanted to work, but I wasn't finding jobs. There were really no jobs out there. Everything I applied for, they'd say that they'd take my application, I get the stuff. Next thing I know, they'd say it's filled, and then 2 weeks later, I'd see that same job posted again. I'm just like, what the, you know? And I started having to really think outside the box, looking for a way to make money. And that's when I kind of got involved in this, and I scraped the money together to do that, get involved in this, and from there, it kind of went from there and to where I'm at now, and building and growing my business, and working with Regina very closely to build my business, and she's helping me with achieving that.
Cool. Cool. Okay, so what I want to get into next is when we were, I know when we were searching, and when you are searching for something to do, you want to consider what it is you're trying to accomplish. And like I said, when I got started, I was looking for something part-time supplemental because I wasn't ready initially when I first got started looking for something. Actually, my very first MLM company that I got involved in was back in 2004. I had just adopted my daughter from Russia, brought her home as a single parent, didn't really want to put her back into an institution. She came from a little baby home. She was in a adoption house, and didn't want to put her back in institutions, didn't want to put her back into daycare all day long, and decided to start looking, but I was also working my career and pretty happy at the point, so I found something that I could do part-time, and it was just a small MLM, didn't pay very much, but I did start that way. And so are you looking for something where you want to supplement your income, or some people just want to find something extra to do? Maybe there's a person that's a retiree, or you just love your job and you wouldn't mind doing something on the side, something that's in your interest area and something that gives you a little bit of money. Or are you C, where maybe you're looking for full-time, looking to replace income? And ultimately, when my mother got sick, that's what I needed, and that's what I was searching, was something that would completely replace the six-figure income so that I could be at home and have control of my freedom, and ultimately found that. And you want to also think about how soon do you want it. For example, a lot of people, when they go looking for a business, they're hurting right now, and you need fast money. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm here to tell you that I don't believe that if you're going to start a business of your own, you don't want to be in that position where you need money immediately. Because you're going to need some money to start a business, and being in the position of already being in a hurt is probably not going to be good for you. What you might want to do is find some alternative ways of raising some funds. And I'll be honest with you, in some of my hardest times, I sold on eBay, I mystery shopped, I even scrapped metal, where Dan can attest to that. Dan and I did a run together where we collected all this metal and junk that my father had stored up in my big backyard, and we went and made some money on that. And that was just a place that we were in. We needed some cash, and we were willing to do the work to get it. I don't really think that that's a great place to start a business. It will definitely give you a passion for it, but you're going to need a little bit of money to be able to spend. Now, maybe you're okay financially, but you want some extra dollars. And this is probably, the best place to start is that you've got a job, you're working, or you have a way of creating some funds, but you want to make it more. And that way you have something to invest, and it doesn't have to be tremendous, depending on what you choose, but you definitely want to have a little bit, because business is going to cost something. I had a guy the other day that wanted to know about my business, but he wanted to know something that didn't cost him any money to get started. And I told him that, honestly, I think you're looking for a job, because if you want a business of your own, you're going to have to invest in it. McDonald's does not give away franchises for free. neither does any of the other ones, and you don't have a business if you're not going to invest in it. And then thirdly is, are you in a position where you want to fire your boss yesterday? And this is where, you're wanting the big money, you're wanting the big income, you're wanting to really seriously make a change. And some people do that. Some people get started and walk away from the job and can generate this kind of income immediately. They can replace their monthly checks. And so it's not unlikely. It happens. It requires some effort. Not going to lie to you. Not seeing anything that will do this for you with no effort, but it is definitely possible. Let's see.
Regina, where are you on your slides? Because
Uh-oh, is it not moving?
no.
Which one are you seeing? I'm on what are your interests now?
Well, I'm still seeing the one showing yeah, now I see it.
Hang on. Let me go up. There you go.
And I've got the, just to let you know, I've got the chat stuff open.
Sweet. So are you seeing this? What are your interests?
Yep.
Okay. Looks like I was trying to do it in view, but apparently that's not going to happen. So, okay. I'll just do it this way. Okay, so what are your interests? And why I bring this up is because when you're looking for something to do online and you're looking for a business to start, you're going to have more fun and enjoy it if it's something you're interested in. And here I just listed a couple of ideas, suggestions. Maybe you're really into fitness. Believe it or not, there are a lot of home-based businesses that evolve around fitness and weight loss. I don't know if there's one that evolves around fishing, but you can certainly find something that lets you feature that interest. For example, not that fishing was my forte, but at one point when I was really selling on eBay, I had moved over to take care of my mother and was sorting through a lot of belongings of my father. And my father loved to fish. I never picked up on that hobby, but I had a lot of vintage fishing lures that my father had. And I decided to do a little research and sell those on eBay. And I can't tell you how interesting that experience was to really find the interest and the desire that people had for fishing lures, especially vintage ones. My father was 74 when he passed, hadn't been fishing for some time, but still had some seriously vintage fishing lures. So believe it or not, you really can make money and have a business based on fishing if that happens to be something that you like to do. And really, if you can think of something that you would be willing to do for hours and maybe something you'd be willing to do for free, then that's going to be a passion you might want to consider. And think of something you'd enjoy doing. For example, I tried a couple things, and I think, Dan, I probably had you over to one of my home parties.
You did.
And, I got to be honest with you, I'm a social person, and I like my friends, but I did not like having people over to my house for home parties. I would much rather, as you see in point B here, work in my home office in my underwear or, in my bathing suit. That's just more my style. So you got to think about what would you enjoy doing. What were some things involved in the business that you do? And then lastly is, what are you willing to do? So maybe you want to make money and you want out of your job and you want to say goodbye to your boss so bad that you're willing to have home parties. You're willing to go to hotel meetings. You're willing to do whatever it takes. Then that can be an option for you as well.
Well, I think something to make a point here is, see, I was willing to do that, and I've done the home parties just like Regina has. Found out very quickly. I'm like Regina. I'm a social person. Regina can attest to that, especially with us both going to the same church and stuff. I love people. I love being with people, but when it came to doing the home parties, having to be out there and be like that center spotlight kind of like thing all of a sudden,
yeah,
it was just hard. And that's where I found a lot of problems, because I felt unnatural, I felt unnatural in trying to do the home party rather than just having my friends over and just enjoying their company. So
yeah, exactly.
I don't know if that's how you felt about it, but that was my experience with it.
Yeah, just didn't want to have to do that sales thing. I'd rather not. I'd rather not hit up my friends and family. To be perfectly honest with you, I just don't want to pitch to people I know. If they ask me, I'm happy to tell, but I don't want to have people over and go, drink this shake, tell me what you think, buy some now. Just was not my thing. So let's get back to this real quick. Okay. I keep getting off of that. Okay, so what you want to do when you're looking for something to do and you want to just get started online is do some research. And of course, we all know that great place, Google. And just start putting in some keywords. And this might be overwhelming, I'm going to be honest with you. Start putting things in like best home-based business or best work-at-home opportunity or work at home or different words you can think of that that would get you to would pop up some things because you're going to get tremendous, probably tremendous results and a lot to have to search through. And I'll get into here in the next couple things here how to narrow that down. And even search on Facebook. I mean, if you put in some keywords and just some searches on Facebook, oh my goodness, the stuff is going to pop up tremendously. And in parentheses, I put in your local city. I noticed that a lot of people like to work with people in their city. And so if that's you, if you really just got to be able to like meet somebody face to face often, then maybe on Facebook or even Google search best home business in Las Vegas or best home-based business in wherever you're living. And like you see here, I warn you that you'll be busy scouring through the tremendous amount of options that are going to pop up when you do those kind of keywords because there's a lot of stuff out there. Go ahead.
I was just saying tons because I've done that.
And now, do you know any friends that are doing something on the side? Like Dan mentioned, I probably said something to him, or I Facebook everything, so maybe I Facebooked it, I don't know. But maybe you've got friends around you that are already doing something. Do you have a friend who's always got a lot of jewelry on? She might be selling jewelry. Do you have someone who is, always talking about cell phone plans? They might be doing that. You just never know. Probably tons of friends around you that are doing some things, and if you stop for a moment and just pay attention, you probably will see it. They might actually be promoting online already, and if you pay attention to some of your friends' posts on Facebook and just watch what they're doing, you may even see that they're posting about their business. Maybe they have a fan page attached to their profile, and if you do a little bit of research in that area, you might be pleasantly surprised to see what your friends are doing. Another one is the car magnets and letterings and things like that on people's cars. Dan mentioned that he and I go to church together, and I love to drive through the parking lot when I'm getting there or leaving and seeing all the different businesses that are advertised on cars. You'll see real estate, maid service, car detailing. I mean, all kinds of stuff. Maid, I think I already said that right. You'll see all kinds of stuff that people have on their vehicles. I know on the back of my car, I actually have a domain name in a little magnet. It's actually like it's permanently stuck on there, but it actually has my domain that if somebody's sitting behind me at the light, they're going to see my domain, and the Freedom to Live Life Well, and they'll actually go there. They can go there, and especially with a smartphone, they're able to, if they're really curious, able to go there immediately. So that's just a couple ideas that, to kind of pay attention to what's happening around you as far as what you can get started in. Now, what you want to do is when you find something that you like, there's going to be a process, and this is pretty typical for just about everything that's out there online. There's a process to it. You're going to find something you like. There typically is a place for you to enter your email, and we call that an opt-in. It's where you opt in to get more information about that particular opportunity. And a lot of times what happens is you're going to get emails, you'll get video, you may get a phone call, depending on the process of that particular business that you're looking at. So you want to see something you like, and you want to opt in to their capture form. And what that means by capture is that you say you want more information, they get your email, they put it into a system that is going to then be delivering more information to you. And a lot of times, I know in what Dan and I do, our process is that you're taken to a video presentation. And what that does for us is I know it leverages our time. I remember getting started in one where I opted in, and I then got a phone call, and then that phone call then led to a three-way call And I ended up having to talk to these two people at the same time on the telephone within a few minutes of submitting my email, or however long it took him to get back to me. So that was the process. That was the process they used at that time. Now, what our system does, what Dan and I do, and a lot of systems today, actually will take you to a live presentation immediately. And I like that because you're able to get the information on the business right away. You get it when you're looking. For example, when I got that phone call, when he finally called me back, I'm actually in Home Depot. I think I was looking for, I don't know, maybe a fridge, dishwasher, or something. I don't know. I was in Home Depot walking around when he called me. So it was kind of weird. But I took the phone call, and I'm talking to him, and I'm actually getting a three-way call done in Home Depot. So, luckily, I was still interested enough where even at Home Depot I wanted to know more. But had I been at my daughter's play, or had I been at church doing the message, I wouldn't have been taking my phone call, right? So that delay in time, for me, was not ideal. However, it is a good system, so if that's something that you see, then definitely, that's something to consider. And then you're going to be getting follow-up emails. So you always want to be checking your spam folder to make sure that you are finding the emails that you get from these different things that you opt into. You might even want to have a separate email specifically for this while you're researching and while you're looking for the business that you resonate with. You might even consider having a separate email so that it doesn't get mixed up if that's easier for you.
Regina,
Yeah.
good point, because I know that I think we both have more than like one email that we use, and I really highly suggest that you do that, because it'll really help you keep what you're really interested in, and you can really focus in on what you're interested in, and then get rid of those that you aren't. So that's a big suggestion I think that Regina made right there about getting a really specific email for that particular type of thing.
Yeah, because it just keeps your inbox clean. The only problem for me is that it's one more email to remember to log into. But I have Outlook where I'm able to have everything kind of come to one place. I prefer Gmail, but I'm actually able to have them come to one place, so that helps. So you might want to just make sure that you have a way to get those emails and watch for them, because you asked for it. So if you want the information, you're going to have to watch for it. Now here's what I find very interesting. Pay attention to the process, because in most cases, the process that you go through is what you're going to be doing. For example, the story I said about, I opted into something. It had to do with law of attraction and The Secret. I then got a phone call from this guy, and then ended up being three-wayed into a call with his sponsor, and this all happened while I was in Home Depot. So that was a key indicator right there what my process was going to be, because that was what I had to do. I had to do what I saw him do for me in that process. And honestly, back then I was willing to do whatever it took, but right now that's just not interest. I just don't have any interest in talking to that many people on the phone all day. So, are you having to speak to 2 or 3 people on the phone? Are they doing three-way calls? Are they calling you back and telling you, show up Thursday and we have a meeting? Or are they saying, hey, you gotta log into this webinar, but it's not happening until blah blah day, blah blah time. Do you get the information right away? And I'm kind of alluding back to the fact that the system that Dan and I like is the one where you put your email in, you get the information, you're taken to a video right away. Chances are, if you're seeing this presentation right now, you've already gone through that. You saw our process in action. You saw where we asked you for your email, you got on our list, you got taken to a presentation video immediately, and then now you're getting emails from us. And that could have been 1 day ago, 1 month ago, 1 year ago. Some of you may be on our lists that long. And so this is just an indicator of our process where we reach out to you. And so you want to really pay attention to that, because it's going to be kind of what you're going to be doing. And hopefully it's something you like and you can resonate with it. Oops, I went too far, didn't I?
Yep.
Did. Oh, I see what I did. It cut off the top. So there we go. Okay, then you want to start thinking about the price of the business. And, sometimes you hear what you get, what you pay for is what you get. And, sometimes that's true, sometimes it's not. But the truth is, if you want to have a business of your own, if you want to make money online, if you want to find a way to get started online, you have to be willing to invest in yourself and someone else, meaning, invest in the business. Uh, if you find something that costs you nothing to get started, chances are you're not going to make a whole lot in the beginning of this. And I'm a little skeptical of things that cost absolutely nothing because I don't believe that there's a lot of, they might work for a little bit, but as far as long-term residual, long-term stability, I just don't know that that's a good idea. So the price of the business, just know there's going to be one, and they vary. You can start at $25, you can start at $2,500. Just depends on what you want to do. Depends on what you look for out there and what you find. And you've got to decide how far do you want to stretch yourself. You can get started for 25 bucks, and yes, you can make money at that, but most businesses are going to have different levels. They're going to have an entry level, which gets you started, get your feet wet, get you kind of learning and get you up and going. But there's also additional levels, and this is where you have a chance to not only learn more, but you leverage more. Because when you're in a company for, say, $125, then when someone joins you, you make $125, or you make a portion of that, depending on the business that you get involved with. You also want to pay attention to, and I think I have a slide for that, talking about how much you make. But you also want to know that different companies pay different. Some companies give you just a small percentage of your commission. So you want to kind of be clear on that, but you want to know that it's going to cost something to get started. Okay, it's not going to be a business. Typically, it's not going to be free. You can look around, but chances are you're not going to find anything that's long-term of some tremendous value to you. You need to know the price of the business is not just about money, it's about time. How much time are you willing to commit? It's going to take time. You can't join, put your link, your email and your name and your phone number and your credit card in there, and then suddenly be expecting to be rolling in the money the next day. There are a lot of promises of that, but the reality is, if it happens at all, it's usually short-lived, and you're eventually going to have to do something. There's not really, I haven't come across it yet, anything that's a get-rich-quick scheme that's not a scheme. There is, something that you can do quickly, and I would recommend maybe going out and selling on eBay, mystery shopping, or even scrapping metal if you want money immediately, than to think about a business, because a business is something you want to consider more long-term. So not only do you need to invest some money, but you're going to have to invest some time, and you need to come in at the mindset it's not a hobby. If you really want to create some change in your life, it could take a while, and it's not a hobby. It's not just something you do during the summer because the kids are home. It's something that you have to commit to. You have to want it bad enough that you're going to put whatever time it takes. And Dan can even speak to this, that you can have a job and you can start a business, and it won't be easy, but it will pay off if you stay persistent. And you'll have to get creative, and you'll be tired, and the last thing you want to do is do something for your business. But if you stay persistent and just stay determined, you can actually do it with a full-time job. And I know when I first was doing some of my MLM stuff, I remember working graveyard, and at 8 o'clock in the morning, I couldn't get into the station fast enough because I got off at 8, and I'd be dialing some of my East Coast people to make my phone calls because I had to run home and go to bed, and I didn't get up till 5, which was at 8 o'clock, but I had to make dinner for my family, and then by the time I could make a call again, it's 9 o'clock at night, which is not a good time to call people on the East Coast. So I did those kind of things to be able to figure out how to work my business, and you can too. Dan, you got any input you want to add on the, working a business around your
I sure can, because I actively am still working full time and still doing this. And Regina hit the nail right on the head that you do come home, you do have days where your brain is fried, and you do have those days where you're up and down. You're like this, and the key thing is the persistence, wanting it and willing to push through no matter what. Yes, you're gonna have off days. Yes, you're gonna have days where you just don't do it. I mean, I'm being honest. I've had those days, but at the same point, my determination and my desire is I'm still doing it. I'm still plugging along. I'm still doing it. Every mentor I've heard and talked to and have a relationship along with Regina, it has not been an overnight thing. A lot of them it has taken 4, 5, 6 years to get to that point. And then all of a sudden they're on scene, everybody says, oh, wow, look at what they did. But they don't really know the behind the scenes struggle, what they went through, that we all go through. It's really a matter of the perseverance and how much you want it. And if you want it, you'll put the time into it. A lot of big businesses, a lot of your big um, companies were started that way. They put their heart and mind and body and soul into the whole thing, knowing that if they did that, it would ultimately reach the dream that they had. So that's what they did, and so now we have the big, huge companies that are out there that, like Ford Motor Company, the all the steel companies, like with Dale Carnegie and stuff. People like that. That's the mentality you have to have.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you're gonna have off days. They had off days. They talk about them, but at the same point, they kept plowing on.
Okay, cool. See, so there you go. It is gonna require some effort. All right, let's see. What's the next one here? Uh, okay. So some other things to consider when you want to get started online and you're looking for something to do is what will you need to do? And there's going to be a lot of ways. Obviously, a lot of I think it might even get forgotten a lot. Is that we get all excited about a business we want to get into, and they talk about all the great stuff you can do and all the great money you can make, and the wonderful cars and the beautiful ladies and the superb vacations, and they forget to talk about the stuff you're going to have to do. You're going to actually have to do something. That stuff doesn't just show up because you signed up. So you're going to have to know how to get some visitors to your website. You're going to need to know what the cost is, what's involved in that, what do you have to do, how are you going to get traffic, and then once you get some traffic, how do you convert that traffic into visitors? Believe it or not, people do not just click on your website and join immediately. And honestly, if you're watching this and you're on our lists, you may know exactly what I mean. You may be one of those people that have been on our list for quite some time and you haven't gotten started yet with what we offer. So, people don't just join the minute they see your information. So you need to know how to eventually follow up, convert, how to build rapport, how to share information like Dan and I are doing right here. This is a new thing for us. We're stretching ourselves. We're figuring out a way to serve our people, serve our subscribers by providing information. We've done that on the last couple of weeks on some webinars where we've trained specifically on marketing strategies. And today we're serving our subscribers by just telling you some things to do and watch for and how to kind of get started online, even if that's not with us, because we believe in providing value. And so if this is what people want to know, we're going to provide that information. We hope you'll choose us, but if you don't, that's okay. If you find something that you resonate better with and something that you like better and something that's more in your price range or your interest range or whatever, then we're all for that. We just want to share with you how to get started in something. But you do want to know that there's a way for you to understand how to do these things if you don't already know how to do it. You want to be able to get traffic, convert it, follow up with your visitors, and again, if you're on our list, you get our emails, and that's one way we do that. And you can learn how to do that as well. And you want to know, can you do this low cost and effective? Is it going to cost you a fortune? A lot of systems will, cost you a lot of money to do that simple stuff, and there are ways to do that, and that helps to be part of a community. And that kind of just leads me right into the system part. So, when you're looking at this particular business that you're looking at, is there a system in place? And here's an example that I'll use. I have a friend of mine who was looking for something to do online. She knows that this is, she knows I work online. She knows I have a business of my own online. She knows I do it from home full time. She decided to search around a little bit and look for something to do, and she found something she thought she'd resonate with. It was a very, very low starting fee. She liked everything she heard, but what she found out was when she got into the back office, there was no system. Sure, a couple videos, but that's it. So she was reaching out to me asking some questions, and I told her, I said, well, I'm not in that particular business, so honestly, I can't tell you how to do that because I'm not in their system. I don't know what that business is. So you really want to make sure there's some kind of system in place, and typically when you first opt in, like I talked about earlier, where you opt in and give your email, you're going to see the system in action. You're going to see, you know, kind of a little bit of how that works, and typically the person sharing the information is going to give you some more information about other ways that the system works. You can ask your sponsor, and this could be the person that you're thinking about joining if you haven't joined yet. Hey, what kind of system do you have in place to follow? You know, what are there steps laid out for me? Is everything pretty much, you know, follow number 1, follow number 2, follow number 3, and you know, what am I gonna? How do I learn this? How do I get to know? And then, how much time are you willing to devote to learning the system? Again, I've seen people who want to get started in something, but they don't want to watch the videos. They don't want to start at step 1 and step 2 and step 3 and step 4. And then they have questions and wonder why nothing's happening because they didn't follow the system. They didn't follow what their sponsor or their mentor told them to do, and you know, on how to make it work. They just didn't listen. They wanted to try it on their own. So you got to really consider how much you're willing to follow a system too.
Regina, can I throw a little something in there?
You sure can, yes.
Regina was just talking about a system, a step-by-step type system. Kind of liken it to like an assembly line. When the car does not come out, you know, the car does not start finished, it goes through a process. It goes through all these steps, and things get put in place and where they're supposed to be. That's just like this with what we're doing on the home-based business. Most home-based business or network marketing or anything like that has steps and processes you go through that are there to help get you to where you want to be. That, you know, and a lot of people skip that because they want to go from point A and have the finished product and be, oh, I'm making all this money, and not put in the time and effort and energy. But if you go through the steps, yes, it might take time, just like it does building the car, but there are reasons and purposes for going through all those steps.
Awesome. That makes perfect sense, exactly. Okay, so let's see what's next. Next one is, I don't know, can you see the title on that, or is it just me on my page? There we go.
It's the way it just, when you scroll up or down a little bit, then it's fine. I think it's just how, you know, it's sitting in here and stuff like that.
Training and support. Okay, so this is again something you want to know about the business you want to get started in, because when you're getting started, if you're just getting started and you don't have any experience, this is going to be very important to you, is to know that there's some training and there's support. And so you want to know, do you have access to your sponsor? Can you call them? Can you Facebook them? Can you email them? Are they responsive? Do they get back to you? What kind of training and what kind of community do you have access to? And here's some examples I give. I know for Dan and I, in the stuff that we do, we have access to team Facebook groups, and honestly, sometimes too many. Sometimes I can't keep track of all the different groups that I'm in because
same here.
In our business, there's different levels. For example, if you have a particular product, then there is a Facebook group for that, so that you can specifically focus on how to learn and work and build on that one. And so sometimes it can be a lot of team groups. But we also have access to daily mastermind mindset calls, and for me, this has been just huge, Tapping into the mastermind, the matrix every day for me is huge. And the one we're in is Monday through Friday. And we tap into that. We stay connected, and it keeps your mind in the right place. It helps you to see the achievements of others. You hear the struggles and how people have overcome those when you get on calls like that. We have daily live training calls. So is that something that's an option for you? Can you get on a daily live training, or is it all recorded training, which is just as fine too, because you can do that at your own pace. But what kind of training are you offered? Where if you don't know how to do something very basic, that somebody will work with you on that. You want to know that that's an option for you. And I think I just mentioned video recordings. That's huge. I know all our daily trainings are recorded, so because life gets in the way. If you can't be on a training in the morning, you can go back and watch the recording. You can watch it at your convenience, maybe at night when you have some time. And another way for training and support is live events. And so many people don't understand the value of live events for networking, for connecting with people, for learning, for just really understanding the power of what you have is live events. And Dan, I want to shift to you because I want to ask you, do you remember going to your first live event, and did that do anything in your mind? Because you didn't go for a long time, and there were reasons for that. But when you finally, in your mind, made a decision to go to that first live event, can you share with people the power of that live event?
Well, actually, I'll be honest. I'm going to go back to an event I did in another company, and
Okay.
but it will explain the power and the momentum and what it did for me.
Okay.
And it took me a few years to get back to that point. And then when I went to the first one with what we're involved in, it just solidified it. Um, this was, I'm going to admit it, it was when I was involved in Amway. I went to a big Amway live event in ah, Salt Lake City in Utah at a big coliseum, and they had that coliseum packed, and I was up in the top, towards the top of the bleachers, and it was packed. So think about an event with 20, 30,000 people. That's like a basketball game, and they're all just going crazy for what's going on with the company. And then they had entertainment and stuff and things like that. But what it did was it helped solidify the dream that when I started looking and deciding back in the uh, middle 90s that I really didn't want to be at the behest of other people, and I wanted my own life. I wanted to be able to do things on my own time and my own terms. That solidified it. It was just the power, the magnitude, and the dream they fostered in me. And then, but because of circumstances and things and my mindset not being the right mindset at that point in time, I moved on and kept working and stuff and things like that. And then fast forward now to the first event I went with what we're involved in. Um, it was more intimate, it was smaller, and I felt closer to the big leaders, and I felt like they were just talking to me, and that really pierced my heart, and it really just made it that much more real for me that yes, it can be done and that I can do it, and just even slam dunked it for me that, and now I've been to 4 events, and it just has kept my dream just so alive because I've connected with people I know from Facebook and online and stuff, and I've met them in person and have generated and made great friendships out of it, and hearing the struggles and trials and seeing them succeed and cheering them on just like they're cheering me on. So that's the power of what it is. You go there because you get amongst a bunch of people that have the same energy, the same dreams, the same goals, whether it be not exactly like yours, because each dream is for each person and it's for that person, for what they want, but you all are chasing after it, and you can see that it can be done.
I agree, and I think it's huge for me. Has been the community. I love going to the events because it's like getting together with family.
Hmm.
I think I spend more time with the people in my business than I do with my family. So I love it, and people always tell me when they see my pictures, like, you look like you're having so much fun. Well, yeah, I am. I'm having the time of my life because I like to travel, and also I'm hanging out with people that are like-minded. They're going the same direction. We're all on the same path. Everybody's supportive, and I love that. It's just a great community.
Hmm.
So next is a startup, and you need to know what's needed. What is it going to take to get started? I know a lot of times in our business we'll say, hey, $25 to get started. Well, the truth is, it's $25 and there's an affiliate fee, and then there's a couple things you need to have just to have your basics for success. So, are you going to need to have your own website, or is there one that's provided for you? Are you going to need to host your own website? And you can see here where I've just put some approximate prices. I mean, these are not definitive. There's different companies that handle stuff, but kind of gives you an idea of, the possibility of what things could cost you. Security and protection. A lot of people, and I've had some friends who've had their blogs, their WordPress blogs have been hacked, and it's been a nightmare. And so there's security features that you have to pay for in order to protect yourself. Extra features and plugins. WordPress is great, and there's a lot of additional plugins, but sometimes for the real powerful ones and the really effective ones, it's going to cost you a little bit. I've paid, maybe $50, $100. I paid different prices for plugins, themes, all kinds of different stuff. And then there's the time to learn it. And WordPress, yeah, I love WordPress, but it's challenging. You have to learn WordPress. You just don't log in and all of a sudden you're working it. You have to set it up. You can pay somebody to set it up, or you have to figure out how to do that on your own. And so here I just put a really basic, total basic starting cost that you could be looking at for a business that you're looking at, and that's not even buying the product. I'm talking about getting set up where you have a website and a domain, and your affiliate is paid for, and an autoresponder. I didn't even put that on here, an autoresponder. So there's things like that you need to consider when you're getting started. And that takes me back to the slide where I talked about you don't really want to be in a hurting, I need money today or I don't eat tonight kind of mentality, because there are some costs that are associated. Now, you can control those costs, but you can't. I just really don't believe you can think you're going to get started online or any kind of business and not realize that you have to spend a little bit first. So just kind of, being a totally honest and transparent, there are some costs involved. You need to know what those are.
Regina, just to touch on that point that you just talked about, being that need and have to, that's one of the biggest, I think, trip-ups that people have is they get to a point where it's like, oh, I need money fast, and then they go online and they see something that says, oh, you can make, and then they get into that and they try it, and then there's no results, so then they get such a negative taste and turn off towards what this industry can and does do for people that it has hurt this industry in a lot of ways, whereas there's a lot of good that comes out of this. And when you go in with the right mindset, hence why we're sharing this information, you can go in with the best possible information available, and doesn't still mean you still don't have to go out and do a little bit of more searching for yourself, but we're trying to give you good concrete stuff that you can start with and go from there.
Agreed, and and that's the thing is that I just want to share the truth with people. I just want people to know, to be totally open and honest. So details on your company, and this one's been huge for me. And I imagine Dan can share his thoughts too. But on this particular company that we're with, I love the transparency of the company. They are open. Everything is open and out. They're not. There's no pretense, no trying to hide anything. So you want to make sure that when you're looking at something to do online, when you're looking to get started online, how transparent is the company you're looking at? What are they selling? Is it clear that they're selling, what they're selling? And I heard something this morning on another webinar, another Google Hangout I was on. You want to make sure there's a product, because a lot of people are going to sell the opportunity, and there's a particular company that apparently is looking at some trouble right now, because what most people were promoting and pitching was the opportunity, not the actual products. People weren't clear on what was being sold in this business. Like, if you join the business, what exactly are you selling?
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I think I know which one you're talking about too now.
So you want to make sure that you're clear on what the product is, and a company, to be legitimate, should have a product that they're offering. Okay, it's not just join me and you make money. It's this is what we promote, and this is the product that you will promote, and this is how The commission structure is based on the product that you sell, not the fact you joined and put your email in and your phone number and then you're going to make money. No, selling is about offering a product, service, or something to other people. So you want to make sure that that's clear. Income disclosure. The company, again, that we work with has an income disclosure down at the bottom. And one of the things I love most about our income disclosure is that it's updated frequently. It's not an income disclosure from a year ago. It's an income disclosure that's updated frequently and tells you exactly the percentage of how people are making money here and what they're making. And they update it all the time. They're totally transparent. They're willing to share that. They want you to come in with your eyes wide open and know that you can make lots of money here. You can make lots of money in that company, but it's going to take there's the income disclosure. Results may not be typical because we don't know what you're going to do. The typical results, are for typical people. You want the outstanding results, and you're going to do different things, and you're going to do outstanding kind of work to get that. And that's all shared, and that's why you need to look for the income disclosure so that you can see that. Contact information. Can you easily contact the company? Can you ask them questions? Can you find out more? Your sponsor or rep, the person that gives you the information, can you contact them? Can you find out more information about them? Will they answer their phone if you call them? That kind of thing. So those are some details you want to look for. Let's see, I think we're almost done here. And then, are you being realistic? And before you get into anything online or anything in general, really, do any of us take on a weight loss? And maybe some people do, so I probably should preface that. But do you really decide that you're going to start a weight loss program and then 2 days later you're done if you don't see 10 pounds come off? Not normally, okay? Not unless you're getting a surgery or something. Are you willing to do what it takes? Now, if you wanted 10 pounds in 2 days, you could probably go get some things done that would take off 10 pounds in 2 days. So same in business. Are you willing to do what it takes? Are you okay with the possibility and the likelihood, I'm just being real here, the likelihood it probably won't happen overnight. You're not going to get rich the next day because you signed up the day before. You can make money. It's possible depending on what you choose to do, but the likelihood is 10K is not going to hit your bank account the next day because you just joined. And then are you willing to commit to at least 90 days? It's sad to see so many people that won't even give it 90 days. 90 days. And honestly, I gotta say I'd give it till it worked. And Dan, I think you're with me because we have that one commonality that we have not achieved this level of success that we want in our business yet, but we have not given up. We refuse to stop, and we've hung in there, and it's been way past 90 days. we keep going.
Yeah.
We keep going. So anything you want to add on that one? Because I hear you chuckling, so I know you can resonate with that a little bit.
Very, very much so. I mean, I don't know how many companies you tried, but I've tried at least 5, I think it is, if I count them all.
I bet you.
And in that, I go back to, I'm going to go back and say it out there because he said it himself. One of our mentors, Paul Hutchings, was in 14 companies.
Mm-hmm.
So in that, I have hope.
Yeah.
I look at that and go, okay, 14. I'm only and I'm in the one I'm staying with. So with that, it is, and I'm going to make it. I'm either going to make it or I'm going to die making it. So that that's where I'm at. So.
Exactly. I'm the same way, and I've been in this one now over 2 years. Gosh, I think middle of summer will be 2.5 years, and it's probably the longest one I've been in, and I haven't counted them, but I think I'm up there with Paul. It's probably 12, 13, 14 different things I've tried. I've just tried everything, and I finally found something that I like to do, something that I can do, that I can work. It's not a priority. I can do my family stuff and still work my business, and that's why I like it. And that leads me to the next slide, and it's like, what if there was an easier way? I described everything up until now. What if there was an easier way? What if the cost was $25? And again, I'll take you back to where I talked about. That's $25 to be able to get started with the basic product, and does not include the affiliate fee, or and that kind of stuff. And you can talk to the person that shares this information with you. But what if there was something you could start today? What if there's something that has a step-by-step system built right in, where all you have to do is log in and click on video number 1 and video number 2 and video number 3. It's all recorded. What if there were daily webinar team trainings that you were directed to, and all you had to do was make a commitment to show up? What if you got to do weekly Saturday marketing trainings like Dan and I are doing now, like we're sharing with you now? The last couple Saturdays, we've shown people how to market on Facebook. We've shown them how to market on Google+. We've shown them how to market on LinkedIn. Last Saturday was IBO Toolbox. So what if there was something every Saturday that you could either be there live or show up and watch a recording later? What if you could tune into Wednesday nights and there was a training every single Wednesday night? Matter of fact, I don't know about you, Dan, but I've started tuning into our sponsors training, and now I have 2 on Wednesday nights I can tune into. So
Oh.
Yeah, my Wednesday nights have been packed.
Yeah, I'm at work. I'm still waiting to get to that point
Okay.
where I can be like you and I can be free. I'm working to get free.
Daily Thinking Grow Rich Mastermind calls.
Love it.
Dan mentioned Paul. Paul hosts these calls. This is phenomenal. And all it is a commitment. There's no extra cost here. What I've just listed here, besides the $25, doesn't cost anything extra. It all comes along with that $25 to get started, to basically get the blogging system. And then what if you could promote anything that you want? What if you could talk about fishing? What if you could talk about weight loss or fitness, or I don't know, guitar playing or whatever, or teach people how to do their taxes? Dan could share that. What if you could promote anything you wanted on, in a business? So you had a business that works for you, and then you're able to share anything and talk about anything you want. What if it has an online funnel and marketing system built into it? What if you have everything you need right from the beginning? What if you don't have to get a website to figure out where to send people to? What if it's all there? What if you don't have to go to home parties or have them? As much as you like your friends, you can invite them over for barbecues and you're not trying to pitch them anything. They can just come over and have fun. What if you don't have to do 3-way calls? Because if you're getting into a business on a 3-way call, guess what? That's what you get to do too. You get to do 3-way calls. I don't know about you, Dan, but I did not like 3-way calls.
I hated 3-way calls.
You don't like them. No hotel meetings. As much as I love hotels, we live in Las Vegas. We have some awesome hotels. I don't need to be driving to a hotel meeting several nights a week. Not interested. And
No.
what if this whole thing was as simple as all you had to do was know how to collect emails? What if that was your job? What if that was the point? Excuse me. What if we showed you how to do that? And you could see how the process works for yourself. And let me get to this last slide, because what I've done is I've added our contact information. So I'm going to leave that up for a second while I get back over here. So what I encourage you to do is to reach out to Dan and I. I don't know if it'll show up. Let me get back on here. Oh, I got to end the slide share. Done.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got to go up.
Okay, so you know what? And that's a perfect example, isn't it, Dan? We have started this whole hangout with technical difficulties. The slides weren't showing, just stuff. But, that's the beauty of it, because we're not experts. We don't have to be experts. We know how to log into Google Hangout and do this system. We know how to connect. And you don't have to be an expert to figure out how to share your passion, your business, and stuff. And
Actually,
so,
we'll be giggling about this tomorrow at church.
you think?
Oh, yeah.
So what I've done, guys, is hopefully if you're watching this, you can see a link that I've included for you to click on. And there's a link there that you can click on to kind of get started and to learn more, okay? And it's as simple as show me more, click it, and on this particular one that you're seeing right now, there's going to be a chance for you to listen to a couple videos and just find out how I've affiliated myself with University of Internet Science. You're going to hear about Michelangelo, and I've honestly locked arms with him a little bit to leverage the power of his training.
Oh,
So when you get started, that's what I've done. Now Dan will have a link that you'll see with Dan that will get you started with Dan. And we provide that information to you just to give you a way to look more, to look more into it, to decide. You can get more educated on what you want to do. Something else I want to share is this one.
okay. I'm not seeing those. So is that just on the web?
It should be on the. Hopefully be on the live webinar. But let's see if.
Do you have it up? If not, I can go.
It's going to be in the public webinar, Dan. I don't know that we'll see it on ours here.
Gotcha.
Hopefully this one. You know what? Let me do this. I wanted to share another one with you that is an article to avoid mistakes, and it just talks about. I think it's 10 mistakes to avoid when getting started in a business. And so hopefully that one is showing up for people. I've just hit that on there, so I'm hoping that that one's popped up as well. So what you can do, if you guys are not familiar with the system, you can actually click on that. It'll take you there without having you leave the webinar. So it's just a great way to provide that information to you where you can click on that. So check that one out. And lastly, I wish I could see it show. Let's do that. There we go. Actually, hang on.
I'd like to look at that too. That'd be cool.
All right, so here's that. In case it didn't show up before, I apologize. Like I say, you don't have to be an expert to know how to do this. I'm learning the system, as Dan is too, and so I'm going to leave that on there for a second. It's just the 10 top mistakes in starting an online business. Definitely a great article. I did not write this article. I found it, and I just want to make sure I shared it with you. So if you're watching this, click that really quick and make sure that shows up for you, and you can save it. And then lastly, I want to give you a chance to connect on Facebook. And so that's just a way to connect with us on Facebook. When you click that link, it will take you to our profiles. I encourage you to connect with us. Let's be friends. I'm sure Dan feels the same way. Send us a private message when you do that. When you add us as a friend, send us a message and just say, hey, I saw your webinar and I'm connecting. Why I say that is because we have a lot of people that are looking to connect with us and looking to work with us, and we want you as our valued subscriber to kind of get a VIP treatment. So we want to know that you've been on the webinar. We want to know that you took time to spend an hour with us now, and so send us a message when you connect with us. Okay, we've been marketing, so we get lots of requests, and we want to make sure that you get a VIP treatment, and so take the time to do that. And then what I'm going to do is take you back to this one. And I just encourage you to watch the videos there, because I think it does even better job maybe of explaining than I did. But hopefully you've gotten some value of what we've shared here in this hour. It's been an hour actually, hadn't it? An hour and 5 minutes. So I hope that we provided some value, that even if you don't get started with us, you have a basic foundation of what to do, what to look for, what to be thinking of, what to be aware of, and just some real talk here about starting something online. You can get started online, but I just don't want people to come in with the misconception that you start, you put an email in, you hit the join link, and you're rich tomorrow. Dan, anything you want to add as we close off here that just kind of top it off before we say goodbye?
I'll add that I'm going to be perfectly honest. When I started first looking back in the 90s, when I was getting to the point where it's like, hey, I don't like doing this. I've talked in a couple of the previous trainings that I've counted over $1 million, $1,500,000 through my hands. And when I started looking online or being told about direct marketing, network marketing stuff, and the picture that was painted was like, oh yeah, I can go in and get money quick. And when that didn't happen, I kind of got turned off. It didn't douse, didn't put out the flame totally, but I didn't do anything for a little while. And then hence when in the late 2008, 2009, I started looking again. But I came with a different attitude because I realized it's not overnight ever. So it is time, it's energy. It can happen quickly, and I've seen it happen quickly, 90 days, stuff like that, where people have gotten traction and made it. But it's like anything, you got to really put time into it.
Yep, I agree. And I was just looking to see, I didn't see any questions. I believe that the feature on this, guys, is that if you do have questions, if you're watching the recording of this and some questions pop up for you, you can ask the questions, and I believe we'll get notified of that. So if questions come up as you're watching this, and maybe I wasn't clear on something, or maybe you thought of something extra, don't hesitate to add the question in there, and I'll be watching for that in the next week or so. I believe this hangout will be circulated for about a week before we get ready to do one next week, and Dan and I will have to talk about that because I think we both got some plans on Saturday, but maybe we'll do a Friday one or something. We'll play it by ear and see how that goes. But watch your email and just stay in touch with us. We'd love to share more information with you. We'll be sharing more value, and we'll probably get back to our regularly scheduled, just talking about different ways to market, just different ways that you can market yourself. I'd love to get into some branding and talk about how you can share you and actually build your business by being totally authentic and yourself. That's been huge for me lately, and I think Dan can attest to that,
Yeah.
to talk about that as well. So, in the meantime, guys, if you have questions, let us know. Check out the links that you see, and we will see you on the next one. Make it a fabulous day. You do deserve it. Bye-bye now.
Bye.